All right, guys, we have a little bit to talk about with Hyperliquid. This is one of my top picks, guys. I still think this is going to be an excellent coin. And basically, we're talking about this just because it has 326 million in volume, but it's down almost 5% at the moment. Actually, it just turned to 5 right now. And if you look at this Giggle Fund over here, top gainer, 120 million, that's almost nothing. So this has about 3 times the volume, despite being a top loser, unfortunately. Now, let's take a look here. We do have something like a triple top pattern right here, although this little head right there, we can say, is a little bit lower than these two. I would like this to be a little bit higher to call it a triple top pattern. That's why I put a question mark there. But again, in my opinion, it's enough. Now, we are within a channel still. We are just barely hanging on. I need to zoom in here so you can see this. If we break down, this is going to be a very big problem, but we haven't broken down just yet. We do have a small bounce. Now, if we break out from this channel, which we're at the very bottom of this channel, it's still far away. Basically, we have to get up to, let's say, about $64 to even have an attempt to break out. That would send us back up to the top of the channel. That means about $75. Now, if we don't get back above this point right here, this is what I'm worried about. We have lost this right here. We are about $1.50 lower than this point, and it's not looking good. I don't want to lose this right here, but we have already lost it technically. So let's see if we can get a bit of a bounce here. I don't think it can get too much worse for Hyperliquid. At least I hope not, guys. But again, I don't think there's a lot of volume between about 50, let's say 90 down to about 45, 70. So yeah, there's a very big gap here. Because it really didn't trade there that long. So you do have a little bit of trading right here with this peak, but that's still not a lot. So yeah, if we lose this point right here, if we get under about $50, that's going to signal a lot of problems for Hyperliquid. Now, when I open up the volume here, it actually looks like a lot of people bought this between about $37 up to about $49 or so. So it does actually have some support in here. The point of control is 41.28 though. So if it loses that, you're definitely in big trouble. But we're resting right on this candlestick right here. So this isn't a very large candlestick. Basically if we get down to about $49, you run into this candlestick. And then once you're about $46, you're getting into these two larger candlesticks right here. So hopefully it gets a bounce here soon, guys. Now jumping over to TradingView here, the summary here, we're going to look at this. And basically right now on a 1 month time frame, we do have a buy. So that's nice to see. 1 week though turns to a sell, unfortunately. The day also turns to a sell. 4 hours, also a sell. 2 hours, sell. 1 hour, sell. 30 minutes, neutral. 15 is a buy. 5 minutes a buy, and 1 minute a buy. So basically these lower term time frames, it's a buy, but yeah, the month is the only thing that's still a buy. We need really the 1 day and 1 week to turn to a buy before I would say, maybe go all in if you wanted. But yeah, I just don't think right now Hyperliquid is the best thing to buy. I still think you should wait a little bit. You might get a little bit better of a price, but yeah, right now, mostly it's a sell. Now, Hyperliquid is the number 11 coin, down about 5%, like I said earlier. Circulating supply, 222 million, not too bad. Max supply is 1 billion. That's about 10 times less than the average, I would say. It could be better, though. Now, if we go down to the all-time high, $77 basically was the all-time high, so you're down about 32% at the moment. All-time low, you'll never see this again, $3.81. You're almost, up 1,300% here. Now, in the last couple of hours, basically it dips 5% because there was some glitch here. But yeah, basically you have news on Hyperliquid just constantly here. I mean, you can see 6 hours, 8 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours. This is one of the biggest projects. They're going to have news all the time. Now, before I go a little farther in this video, guys, you can claim some bonuses on my favorite crypto exchanges below. We also have Bitunix here, as well as a cold wallet. And if you want to follow me on X, you can go here. If you're looking for a Bybit card, this is going to change in a few days, though, guys. You're only going to get 1%, unfortunately. Also, if you're traveling this summer, use AirHelp if you get a delay, guys. Check it out. See if you are eligible for cash back. And yeah, guys, please check out those links. It really helps me when you use them. Now looking at Bitcoin here, we're at $63,000. So again, guys, we're still ranging here. We've been ranging since the beginning of June. Not much going on. We can't even break above 66.7K. We've hit this twice. It's kind of a double top actually. And yeah, we're down below about, what's this, 63.1. This is a weekly resistance right here. We did get a little bit of a bounce off this support yesterday. So basically, this was actually a good thing that we stayed above 62.5, but we were unable to get above 64.8. We got rejected basically a few times. I mean, this is close enough right here on the 29th, I would say. So yeah, we were unable to really seal the deal here and start working our way up for this next month at 67.6. That doesn't mean we can't cross it, this month and continue, to 67.6. It just means it was better to cross it yesterday as we closed the monthly candle. Now, as of right now, we were actually above this trend line, but if I zoom in, I mean, we're right on the verge. It looks like, the next candle started under this line, basically. So it's not a good sign, but if we can keep this daily candle above this trend line today, we're still okay, probably. But yeah, you can see if I zoom in here, we actually got a bounce here. We stayed above it, but that next candle was basically born under the line. So let's see what happens today. Hopefully this can stay above it. Next resistance here at about 1883 on a weekly time frame, and small bounce today, but at least it's above the trend line. I would say that's a miracle in itself. Unfortunately, ETF wise, basically with Bitcoin here, as you see, we lost what we put in the last couple of days. So you can see 265 million of outflow when basically we put that in the previous 2 days. Now, if we go to Ethereum here, let's see what we have. We do have inflow though. So about 9 million, not a big inflow, but still inflow. So that's a good thing. Solana, on the other hand, had a 0 day. Now, if we look at Hyperliquid, it actually had outflow. So we have seen a lot of outflow still lately. Again, this is still $284 million of inflow. But I think when I saw it, last maybe a couple weeks ago, this was at about 311, maybe somewhere around 315 or so. I think it peaked. So yeah, we are down to 284 right now, and we're still seeing outflow here. Now, as for the quarterly returns here, we're still green here in Q3 for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Both are trying to get back what we lost in Q2, basically. Now, July was actually pretty positive, about 7.4% up. That's nice. We had, 3 Julys in a row green. July was, like I said, usually green. Now, August, we do have green right now. It's a very small green, 0.31%, but August is typically red, so don't expect anything big. September also is typically not so great, but the last 3 have been, green, not major greens, but still, they've been green. So let's see what happens. I'm not sure what August will be. A lot of people are still on vacation and things. They're not trading Bitcoin. They're not paying attention to it. So yeah, don't expect much for this month. As for the total market cap, again, just consolidation, guys. There's really nothing going on. We're still below 2.2 trillion, so it's not great. So yeah, we need to get above that and get above these 2 peaks, which are basically a double top, and then we can start talking again. Total market cap excluding Bitcoin, basically the same thing, guys. And since about the 3rd of July, it hasn't been really below about 875, but it hasn't really been higher than about, let's just say 910. So again, consolidation here, sitting about 880 at the moment. Here's the chart I'm most worried about, though. If we take a look at the total market cap excluding the top 10, we're really on a thin line right here, guys. If we lose this at about 160, it's not going to be good. We're just at 160.8, and yeah, we have hit this line several times. You can see this is basically support right here. But again, the target, the official target of the Head and Shoulders is down here at about 15 billion. Now that's probably not going to happen, but I keep saying, guys, I do think if we break this, we're going to about 140 to 120, and that would be disastrous for altcoins, especially, outside the top 10. Now, as for Bitcoin dominance, we have fallen actually since yesterday. We have hit this resistance here at about 59%, gotten a little bit of a rejection, but still a green candle today. Now, as for stablecoin dominance, we do kind of have a little bit of a turnaround here. I'm seeing this, and you're kind of seeing a little bit of a loop right here. I know it's a little bit hard to see when you have green, but maybe it's going to do something like a cup and handle. that means it would actually come up here, do something like this, and then boom, it would break out. Now, if it did something like this just entertain this idea, guys, basically that would take it up to about 17%. So again, I have been, I have my hypothesis basically that this is going to go up maybe to about 20 to 25% before it gets better. Now, the problem with that is we do have limited information on this chart. This only goes back to May of last year. So again, I could be wrong, of course, because this chart just really started. But yes, basically, it looks like it's about to turn around, especially if we look at this on a daily time frame. Let's see if it follows this as like a cup for the future, but right now it's looking like that. Now, one thing that amazes me, guys, is the altcoin season index. We're at a 67. I just still don't feel like we're even close to altcoin season. That actually takes place at 75 or above when you have altcoin season officially. But guys, I don't see a lot of altcoins doing amazing things. Things like Hyperliquid are struggling, for example. So 67 right now. I'm not sure how they judge this or how they do the math or whatever, but right now this is kind of amazing in my opinion. Now, liquidation heat map here on the 48-hour time frame. We are kind of pinned between some liquidity here. There's a little bit less above us though than below us. So basically, we do have a yellow line down here all the way at about, 60.4, let's say it would take it out. But above us, we would take out liquidity at about 63.6. Now, which way we go first, nobody knows, of course. Maybe we go up, we take this out before we go down. But we could also go down before we take out the liquidity above us. Bitcoin tends to follow liquidity. Let's take a look at the 24-hour, and maybe it'll give us a little bit more of an idea. But yeah, I mean, usually it follows, so you would expect it to go down first. Again, on the 24-hour, similar situation, a little bit more below us. So let's see. There's no guarantee, it's going to follow, what is most first. It could go to, the top side first and then go down. No guarantees. That's just, to show you we're basically wedged between a lot of liquidity here. Now, the fear and greed, 27, basically yesterday was 25, have come up a little bit. In the last few days, been between about 25 to 30. Last month, though, 19. Next update in about 9.5 hours here. Now, looking at the bull market peak indicators, the sell top indicators, the distance to hit the pi cycle top indicators way above us, guys. So nothing has still been hit here. I think we have come up slightly here in the average progress, but again, nothing to worry about. Now, yesterday was actually not a great day, 0.29 points down or negative, we can say. Sentiment, though, is still risk on, and that trend is sideways. A little bit strange. I would have expected this to be fading, but yeah, still sentiment risk on. The week was actually slightly good. Month, again, was slightly good, and the year is still pretty positive now. Now, as for the economic calendar, on Monday, we do have PMI, basically, and ISM numbers. Tuesday, we got JOLTS job openings and factory orders, not so big. Wednesday, we have some more PMI, basically, and ISM numbers. And Thursday, not too much going on. Basically, Friday would be non-farm payrolls. You also have average hourly earnings, New York Fed 1-year consumer inflation expectations. So things like this. We do have a lot of PMI and manufacturing numbers, though, this week. Now, as for the Fed Watch tools, it still looks like we're going to get a quarter-point raise the next meeting here. Basically, this is going to take place in about 46 days, but that wouldn't be good. It would really crush Bitcoin if we do get a raise, but the likelihood is more likely that we're going to see a little bit of a raise. Now, Trueflation is showing 2.23% inflation here. This is actually up 0.1% in the last 24 hours. So that is not a good sign, but we have been a lot higher before, guys. Now, if we go to crypto bubbles here, it's about, 50-50 basically. If you want to stake your Hyperliquid, you need to go to Coinondo. Let's see what they have. I can type it in here and show you how this works. But basically, there is 9 results here. Do your homework before you just blindly send coins around, guys, though. And anyways, guys, if you like this video, like, subscribe, activate the bell, share this video with friends. Like I said, check out those links down below, guys. It really helps me when you use my links. And guys, I will see you in the next video.